Shalom, call Halayim La Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And a sincere shalom to the 144,000 Now, this is a quick hit. Esau, these devils, man, they like to put um their secrets in these movies, these video games, and all that. So you see the channel name Gun Candy, you see the title Psyops, the PS2 shooter that pushed physics too far, and you go into the game, and the game supposedly was based upon declassified information from the U.S. government, CIA, FBI, whatever. And guess what? It showed off spiritual power. All right, left hand spiritual power. And in another game, what was it? The dude name is Snake. Forgot the name of this game series. You know, his name is Snake. I believe it's very popular with Nintendo. Metal Gear Solid. I think it's Metal Gear Solid 2, where Esau talks about the digital ID. All right, guess what? That game, it's not a coincidence that in that game it described exactly what's happening now. AI running through the internet and other things that people do on the internet, and the dead internet theory. What else? The digital ID. All right, the enslavement of humanity through the internet and digital means. Yeah, Gear Solid 2 explained it perfectly. What's going on now? What's going to happen in the future? The MOTB system. So Esau puts this stuff in these video games, these movies, these TV shows. All right, now let's get a few scriptures that kind of mind. This is Psalm 64 and 8. Psalm 64 and 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Yeah, these devils are telling on themselves. This ain't Jake. You know, Jake ain't in these laboratories and doing all this madness and then making the video games. Nah, man. Jake was what? Pretty much what? Civil rights era when all these experiments was starting to really take off. 50s, 60s. Esau's been, what is it, MK Ultra, and they'll find certain people that have a special type of connection, you know, like what was it called? When people can control elements. Yeah, that's real. You know, there's people that have special powers, special talents, and there may not necessarily be Israelites. You know, they could be heathen. Didn't Pharaoh have sorcerers that had spiritual power? Yeah, he did. Pharaoh had sorcerers that had power. Let's get that. This is Exodus 7:11. Then Pharaoh also called the wise men and the sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments, for they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. There you go. So there's heathen that got special talents and powers, and you know. So when you see these video games and you hear about a DARPA and all these other experimental things like Umbrella Corporation, that some of that is real. You know, those are real things. Like how they'll get a person, like what's that movie series where you have that he's like an agent and he has a split personality or whatever. Not James Bond. It's another guy. It's a series that has multiple movies, and his mind is split. I forget the name of it. Hey, that's real. They'll take heathens, Jake, maybe even Jakes too. You know, they'll take them, they'll experiment with them, mess up with their personalities, and you know, give them left hand spiritual power, turn them into basically soldiers, slaves that they can control and have them go do missions. Yeah, that's real. That's not fictional. You know, Esau has been doing. Hey, guess what? It's going to be way worse than that. Esau has Like I seen this post where this person was talking about how they can basically all humans have electromagnetic pulse. We all have electricity. So this person was saying how these Edomites, okay, of course they didn't say Edomites, the government, secret society, Amalek, if you will, right? That's really the ones that's doing all this under Satan, Shaitan, who's under Yahweh Shai, under Yahweh, right? They were saying how they will be able to like pick up people just off their pulse, like your magnetic field. They'll be able to find you. Let's get let's get a scripture that can back this up, right? Let's get a scripture on that. This is Matthew 24 and 22. And except those days should be shortened. What are those days? Jacob's trouble. There should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So that's how bad it's going to be. All right, there's not going to be no escape, if you will. You're not going to be able to go in the mountains, and Esau will be able to get you, or there'll be a natural disaster, right, where you're off grid or whatever. The only way out of this is if Yahweh wants you out. So you could be in the middle of New York City, and Jacob's trouble pops off and it's real apocalyptic, and you're surviving, societal collapse in New York City, right? Things are gonna get real eerie out here. It's gonna get real sci-fi out here. Hey, with that, shalom.